Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome to another edition of the LoveByrds Conversation with the LoveByrds. I'm William Bird.
Hey, and I'm Darlene Bird,
And we are the
we're the
LoveByrds.
LoveByrds.
We love love and we
we
love
love
people.
So we're happy to be here.
Absolutely. Yes. Good to see everybody here again. Well, I always say
Mhm.
that, but I know you're out there, so we're glad you're here with us. And we thank you for joining us this evening.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We want to thank everybody who's been tracking with us over the past few weeks. We've had some wonderful conversations. The first week we talked about being honest.
Wait a minute, honey. First, I'll tell you ready to
I was
jump
ready
right
to
in this show.
recap. I was just
Yeah, I know you
recapping.
ready to recap. I see you over on the board, but please,
Right?
I would like to acknowledge my wonderful wife and one amazing accomplishment she was able to achieve this week.
Yes.
Becoming Cigna's 2022 recipient of the Ambassador Fellowship Community Ambassador Fellowship Award. Yay!
Yeah.
So tell them a little bit about the Community
Okay.
Ambassador Fellowship Award, Darlene.
You just gonna put me out there?
I'm going to
like
put
that,
you.
right? You just gonna put me out there like that?
Yes, ma'am. Of course, you deserve it.
All right. I was just trying to
worked
share.
hard
Let me
at it,
share.
yes.
Let me share. All right.
Yes,
Boom.
share. Yes.
So,
Give it to
gosh,
me.
honey.
I'm sorry.
All
baby.
right. So, okay. So at Cigna likes to show that its leaders are leaders in the community as well as leaders within Cigna.
Okay.
So the leadership of Cigna can apply for a fellowship. It's a really intense application. Cigna doesn't give you anything, any ideas, anything. So you can submit your idea for how you can impact the community, and all the data, how you will do it, who you will partner with, what I like to call the purpose, the process, the payoff, the whole thing. You have to submit a budget. You have to find some nonprofit people to work with, and if you win, Cigna lets you leave Cigna for 3 months to go and do that thing in the community. And they give you resources up to a very substantial amount to help you. So I submitted a proposal to do an Alumni Leadership Academy at Chester High School in Chester, Pennsylvania. And I was one of the 3 people selected for next year to bring my leadership to this event. So I'm super excited about it.
Yes.
And we'll be able to make a difference at Chester High School.
Yes.
And build a framework that alumni can tap into. Yes. Thank you, honey.
You're very welcome. And I will be in an official capacity of planner handler.
Oh, you gonna carry my planner?
I'm gonna carry your planner.
He gonna carry my date book.
Yes,
that's my life. If it's not in there, it's not getting done. You'll carry my date book.
That's like top security level. If I got the planner.
The planner is everything.
The planner is everything.
That's like
absolutely
the Mission Impossible suitcase.
Exactly. That's the Mission Impossible.
But thank you for that, guys.
Thank you guys for
anyway,
all the congratulations. You guys were great in congratulating Darlene on her wonderful accomplishment. And we just thank you guys for all your well wishes. And we just look forward to coming back and helping and making an impact in the city of Chester and the community. We want to thank Make a Change Group, who's Darlene is partner with, the Chester Alumni. I think she said all that, but I like to cover it just to make sure they heard it. Yes.
Hey, Amy, go easy, Amy. Yes. You be in Facebook jail.
Yeah, Amy, stop with the Facebook jail stuff.
Hey, I was jumping right to business. So thank you, honey, for that acknowledgement. I'm excited.
Thank you.
And we'll be tapping many, many people in the city to help. To give back to the students.
Absolutely.
But I was recapping. It's been a great couple of weeks here on Conversations with the LoveByrds. Our first week, we had an amazing conversation about healthy relationships, and we really talked about being honest, being honest with yourself. If you're not finished doing these X, Y, or Z, then you need to be honest. You are really not finished.
Yes.
And then doing an assessment of who you are, who you're not, what you're willing to change for the relationship, and what you're not. Being honest about that. We talked a lot about lists.
Yes.
Last week, we talked about needs. We talked about unexpressed needs. We talked about learning to communicate what your needs are, doing the work to really realize what you need to be fulfilled in a relationship. and having those conversations about that with your mate.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about what happens when those needs are not fulfilled.
Absolutely.
They don't go away, right?
They don't go away.
The conversation was they get buried with other stuff, but they keep poking out because unexpressed
Recipe
needs.
for disaster.
Yeah. Unexpressed needs don't go away.
Mm-hmm.
So your mate has to want to do the work to understand your needs and to fulfill those needs.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with someone who, just before we go into this week, was married to someone, and they were like, look, this person is just too needy. They need all this attention, all this, and I was like, well, you married a needy person.
You married a needy person.
You married a needy person.
You
so,
knew that going in.
Yeah, so you would need to give this person those needs,
Yes.
and they were not willing to.
But that was your expectation, and her
And
expectation
he was not willing. They were not willing to do that, and they are not together anymore.
Absolutely.
He's just thought that the neediness was just over the top or whatever. It was taken over.
Yes.
And so we hate that. We hate when that happens. But unexpressed needs don't go away. Understand those needs going in, and be honest about whether or not you're going to be fulfilling those needs.
Honest
guys.
with yourself and honest with your partner.
Woo!
Yes.
We got into some good stuff.
That was good stuff. That was good stuff.
Yeah. But here we are this week.
And this
Amy
week,
said, look, Amy stuck on last week.
Page
Husband
87.
me with page 87. Page 87 in the LoveByrds story is where
Yes.
I personally
It's your copy
spilled
of the
all
LoveByrds
the
story.
beans on what my needs were. And they were in categories.
Yes.
What I needed physically, what I needed socially, emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
I needed someone who could hear me, feel me. I needed someone to keep their hands on me, letting me know that I'm not alone. Baby, I'm right here. Baby, I'm right here. I needed someone who could cry.
Mm-hmm.
I needed someone who could say, I'm sorry. I needed a lot. It's on page 87. And so
then my needs were a little bit different. My needs were, I needed someone to respect me enough to allow me to fulfill those needs and in the same turn, fulfill some of the needs that I needed for myself.
Yeah.
So we had a flip side. It kind of balanced out super well.
It did.
It's balanced out super well. So
what he's saying is some of the needs that he had in terms of what he needed to give met perfectly some of the deficits that I had.
that's the word.
The deficits. I had deficits.
Lots of them.
You told Pastor Nichols in our premarital counseling, Darlene had some deficits.
She's
I'm
got
like,
some
oops.
deficits. But I was willing to meet the challenge, It was just something that was inherent in me that it was just boiling up and bubbling up and ready to come out and burst out. So, like I said, we're a strange animal. It's a unique relationship. It's unique to just us. Yeah. And but through it all, we did have to implement some things. There was still some work we had to do in order to achieve and sustain a really good relationship. We just couldn't let it just happen and then let it just flounder.
You shared a couple of other lists too. You remember the L's? You shared the 4 L's. The lady, the Lord,
the lady, the love,
you needed
and the
Lord,
lifestyle.
you needed the lady, you needed that love, and you needed that lifestyle, living that lifestyle.
Love
so his
and
list was
respect.
good too. His list was really, really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So this week,
and we talked a lot about the bank account, the emotional.
Are we still on that?
Well, somebody in the notes,
the bank account.
we talked about the emotional bank
anything
account, about making those deposits
yes.
into the relationship, and when you have
the union institution, union institution.
Yes, you made up a union institution.
I made up a union institution.
And that bank. And when you make so many deposits, every once in a while you can make a withdrawal. So what? Your balance will still be okay.
Exactly.
But if you're making withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal, you're in the negative, and you can have some issues. So some good stuff. Go back if you missed it.
Check it out
and check out those
episodes. You'll learn something.
Today's episode, we want to talk about conflicts, and we want to talk about healthy conflict solutions. Right. So we can talk about conflict, but we just want to talk about healthy conflict solutions. Conflict.
So conflict. Bickering and squabbling. Anger. What does conflict
offenses.
Look like? Offenses.
When I'm offended, or I've got all these little pinches, like different things that you do or different things that you say.
If you're thinking about a long-term relationship, though, most long-term relationships are going to have a moment in time when there's going to be some disagreement. And you're gonna meet with that. That's me and Darlene have met with it on several occasions. We're just as normal as anybody else. But navigating through those times when conflict arises has been the challenge. And if you're committed to your relationship and you want a long and lasting relationship,
you got to deal with conflict in a healthy way.
You got to deal with conflict.
It's got to be a healthy way, because you're different people. Right. You don't see things the same all the time. You don't believe the same things all the time, and you're trying to become one. Remember, we ended the story with the cake, and we said, hey, that butter has to die to being butter, and that sugar has to die to being sugar, or else you will never get that cake.
Get to the cake.
They have to blend. So you two different ingredients trying to blend to the one thing. So trying to do that, you're gonna be ruffling some feathers and rubbing up against things, and this kind of thing may pinch me and bother me, and I may not say anything about it, but I'm walking around with a little pinch. Differences of opinions, offenses, conflicts, all of that, it's gonna happen, but you have to learn how to deal with it in a healthy way.
So in a bucket, what do most relationships what do they go through?
So we're thinking about this. I read a book, I think it was T.D. Jakes, and he said, T.D. Jakes said we could bucket all relationship problems. Somebody say cake. William Dickinson, he hungry. It is pre-Thanksgiving.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think it was T.D. Jakes. He said you could bucket all relationship problems into 3 buckets. This is what he said: power, money, and sex. Yes. He said it all. Some kind of way it all leads to power. Do you guys believe that? Like, do you believe that some kind of way when you get to the end of it, that it's an issue with power, or somebody trying to exert their power or wanting power, money, financial issues, financial struggles, things aren't going the way, hiding money, it's not enough money. Who are you giving your money to? Where is the money? It ain't enough money. Or how should we spend the money?
Right. That's good. That's good.
Or sex. Not enough sex, too much sex. Infidelity in the sex. Yes. So do you guys believe that? Do you believe that everything can be bucketed to the day, a power bucket, a money bucket, or a sex bucket?
I mean, that pretty much encompasses everything when you talk about relationships. And they say money is the main one, but before you even get to money, and I believe the sex, I think that power issue is the first one that you may come in contact with.
Okay, yeah. So I think we kind of know what goes into the sex issue and why, and I think we kind of know what goes into the money, but the power may not be as clear. Let's
it covers a lot. It covers a lot of territory. And then when you're looking at how does someone try to exert their power in a relationship?
What does that look like? What does it look like when someone tries to exert power in the relationship? Right. Let's unpack that a little bit. Yes. What does it look like?
Verbal abuse.
It could look like verbal abuse.
Or physical abuse.
It could look like physical abuse. Verbal abuse could be just some of the words.
The wording.
Yeah.
The communication.
Communication.
Yelling and screaming.
Yelling and screaming. Cursing.
Yes.
Jumping up and down.
Absolutely.
Trying to have a temper tantrum to get their way. That is a way that power is that you can that's what it could look like when there's a power issue. Power. Amy said, communication, control, trying to control with communication, verbal abuse, name calling, calling somebody out of their name, or just using words to make someone just feel bad. Using someone to make, Frenchie said neglect is verbal abuse. Absolutely. Put a pin in that. And we're going to come back to that because it absolutely is abuse. Not meeting needs that you know are there. Irene says trying to control one another.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to control one another.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, being demeaning, belittling people,
Yep.
making them feel like they're
Mm-hmm.
less than. Even talking about their ex.
That's a
And
good
what
one.
their ex used to do.
That's
and,
a good
you know,
one.
bringing that up as
Mm-hmm.
a way of comparison.
Mm-hmm.
That's a way to try to exert power.
How about taking other sides instead of your spouse's side?
Yeah, whenever just every opportunity to side with whoever's against my spouse or the person I'm in a relationship with. Yeah,
that reminds me of that story of you saying one time when we were early in a relationship and you said we were arguing. He was like, I felt like I was over here all by myself. And you were over there with the word.
Let me tell that.
That's a good story.
There was some stuff on the list we were talking. This is all good stuff about the power.
Mm-hmm.
So this was early on.
Were
we married yet?
I don't think so. I can't. I remember we had some arguments after, but these kind of arguments, those kind of arguments during the beginning were the ones that.
All right. So early on. We had an argument, which was kind of new for us.
Very new.
And we had an argument. And
I don't even know what it was about.
I don't even remember what it was about. But I remember it got escalated and it got loud. So, until I felt like he was getting louder and louder, and I felt like it was an attack. It was an attack. I felt like it was an attack.
Yes. And
it was like, well, you this and whatever. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. So when the dust settled, I said, I need to explain something to you. I said, Billy Bird, you said it was me and you against the world.
Yes, I did.
I said, but when that conflict happened, you were attacking me. I felt like you were over there with the whole entire world. And I was over here on a little island by myself.
Bing.
You said it was you and me against the world. In that moment, I felt like you were over there with the world and I was all alone. And I did not like the way that felt.
I woke up.
How did you receive that?
I received it really well. The thing about that was, and
you were almost in tears.
Not to blame anyone.
Want you to feel
but I, in my first relationship, that's all we did. I mean, it was just, we argued a lot and I was conditioned. So I had to learn to recondition myself. So a lot of that and those arguments that we had early on in the beginning is because that's what I was used to. It was like the marriage. Mm-hmm. So when we had that incident, it was like I was reliving it. And you can't bring your baggage, your past baggage into a new relationship. That's a new.
Yes.
That's a big conflict.
But it happens so much because that's what you're used to. Yeah. And I had to say, listen, I'm not her. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not her. Right. I'm not gonna be raising my voice.
Yep.
I'm not gonna be hollering. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be hollering at me. That's not how this is going to go down.
It's not.
If it's truly me and you against the world, then we need to get on the same side and look at the problem. It's that thing over there is the issue. How are we together going to deal with that thing? Mm-hmm. So it's separating the issue from the people. And that's what it is. It's looking at it differently. So William said, taking sides. Yep, bad. A girl I was messing with, she took her other side over me. They
jumped you over some chicken.
Over the chicken nuggets.
You got them nuggets and you took the sauce too, Bill.
Oh man, over the nuggets. But yeah, a way of trying to control. I don't like having to say I'm not them.
Yes.
And we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to.
Yep.
Our partner should realize
Francie said,
that.
Don't bring to a new boo. You're right, Francie.
You're right.
That was big. I had to
bring your baggage to the new boo.
Yes.
Yeah. That can hurt some things. Mm-hmm. Bringing that baggage.
And then I learned this after I started taking my CBT classes and my life coaching, that I was bringing some some cognitive distortion to the relationship. So I was, not really thinking rationally about, what was really happening. I was overstating and over exaggerating certain things, and that was due to what I was going through in my previous, because we over exaggerated a lot of stuff and a lot of the arguments. Just made it real big, made it real crazy,
but at the end of the day,
making it crazy. Yeah.
At the end of the day, have to bring it all back down to like, hey, wait a minute, that's not how this is going to go down.
Exactly.
I'm not her. Right. And that's not how we handle conflict. So there's different ways. There's more mature ways to handle conflict. And you know what? And you will come. You did come back and say, you know what?
Oh yes.
I don't even remember what it was, but you know what? It wasn't even about you. It was the fact that you came and pointed that out to me, and I just didn't like it. And it was a defense mechanism type of a thing. It was being defensive. Being defensive. Yeah, and blowing it up like a great big old thing, out of for whatever reason. Yeah. And like that's not healthy. That's not healthy.
So I started looking at when those things started happening. I started looking at like, am I really listening to what she's saying? And am I making a real sensible call on or talking about?
Oh yeah. I just thought of something. Things just come. You guys probably see it coming. It's coming to Darlene. Something's coming to her. It connected. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's weird. I like it. That's weird. Yeah. I remember walking through your workshop. Yep. And you're on the phone as always, talking with somebody, and I don't even know who you were talking to, but I heard you say, you know what, dude? Sometimes we don't like when they point stuff out, but at the end of the day, I know that Darlene has my best interest at heart. Absolutely. At the end of the day, she's not going to tell me nothing bad or nothing wrong. So man, I just changed, and I really do try to listen to her. So I heard that as I was walking through the shop. I was like, you go, boy. Yes. I was like, you go, boy. But yeah, I don't even know who you're talking to, but you were saying, yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, I trust that she really does love me. Absolutely. She has my best interest. So she's not just going to tell me, so what she's telling me, it will. That's that love and respect thing we talk about. If I'm giving her love and you're giving her love, and then I'm feeling, if you're giving her love, then I'm feeling respected. If you're giving me respect, then I'm willing to give the love. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, there's a book. I don't know the author. It's called Love and Respect. And I recommend that book for relationships. It's called Love and Respect. And if I could give you the cliff notes on the book, it basically says that a woman needs love as the major thing that she needs. And it says that a man needs respect as the major thing that the man needs. And so when a woman doesn't give the respect to the man that he wants, emasculating him, some of the things we talked about, verbal abuse, making him feel less than, just outright disrespecting him. When a woman does these things and doesn't give the man the respect that he needs, then what happens to the love that she needs? Yes. He starts to withhold the love that she needs. He knows he needs it. Somebody in there put neglect or whatever. He'll start neglecting needs that he knows that she has and overlooking her needs. So now he's not getting respect. So he's withholding love. And so when he starts withholding love, then she starts what? The mouth starts going off with even more disrespect. The love gets pulled away. It's a downward spiral. Right. It's a downward spiral. And it leads to what, baby? Danger. A danger. It's about to blow. It leads. It's about to blow. Frenchie says. It leads to danger. He says that I talk loud to him when I passionately speak to him. I'm trying to lower my voice, but we don't communicate effectively. Yeah, that's tough, because if you're not satisfied with the way you and your partner communicating, then
you're not going to get to a resolution because that's going to be a blockage.
And she says that she's loud. So you gonna have to make a conscious effort to try to reduce that volume down.
Yes.
Maybe take a deep breath and try to reduce that volume down. You have to try different things sometimes. Sometimes you have to write a letter.
Yes, that's a good one. I was great to say that. Writing a letter something different. Good.
Write a letter and say, hey, can you read this? Give me 30 minutes and then we'll talk about it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So it won't come out like sometimes you're jumping up and down and screaming and he's not really, when somebody screams real loud, I guess what, I don't hear it. I just hear, I was like, okay, kid, let's bring it down. So you're saying, I'm trying to get it, but I just see jumping up and down and screaming. Communication is a key.
Yes.
So you may want to try intentionally lower your voice. And let me tell you something. This is something we learned I taught in customer service. If your customer starts screaming, you lower your voice.
That's a good one.
You lower your voice. Yep. And this is a good comment from George. Love is talking to your partner, not at your partner. And that talking at your partner, all of that is that power. You know, we said it's power, it's money, and it's sex. That power, I'm talking at you, like maybe one is the adult and one is the child. We're not keeping it adult to adult. We're doing adult child. I'm screaming and I'm yelling, I'm cussing. I'm calling you outside of your name, saying stuff that I can't take back, guys. You got to be careful of that. It's like,
but I like that because at least she's trying to take responsibility for possibly her part in the conflict. So
lower your voice.
She's lower your
voice.
She's taking some accountability.
She knows possibly. She says she gets emotional.
Yeah, she gets exactly.
I get it.
Exactly. So I like that. Even that part of it is like seeking resolution. Writing a letter is good. First, understanding. Trying to versus having your partner listen, but having them hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So if you want them to effectively hear what you're saying, you have to make sure that you're delivering it in the way that their mind and their brain is taking in the information that you're trying to deliver to them.
Because the thing is about being heard. So I mean, there are times where we could see things totally different, and if I don't feel heard, I'll say, okay, I don't feel heard. Can you just tell me what my point is?
Yes.
I want to make sure you know what my point is. Can you tell me what my point is? Okay, you need me to tell you what your point is, because I believe your point is this.
Be direct.
Just tell me what my point is. Okay, you do know my point.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So just making sure that we're understanding and we're communicating. And sometimes you got to change it up. Like you may have to write a letter if it's that important. Say, read this letter, and then in 30 minutes, can we talk about it? That way, your point is heard. You don't have to jump up and down.
What about picking your battles?
Yeah. Okay. What do I tell you? On a scale of
1 to
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Is this a 1 or a 10?
Right. Yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, everything is not a 10. No. Yes. And most of the stuff that we're fighting about and there's conflict over, it's not a 10. So I mean, the ones, the twosies, the threesies, so what? You know what I mean?
Shut them down before they even become something.
So if something is getting to escalating to the level of conflict, it needs to be a 9 or 10. This is a value, something you messing with one of the things that a core value or something that's major. But fussing over just anything, that's not good. Guys, life is short and stress kills people. And who wants to be in these relationships?
We got some questions. I got to go to these questions because I know a lot of stuff is flying by and we're talking a lot. So I'm going to just pick up here where it says, what does he say? What is he doesn't say he trusts you? When I asked him if he trusts me, he doesn't answer. He doesn't trust you.
Sometimes what do I say? Sometimes we get our answer.
Yeah, you get your
Sometimes my answer is,
I don't
feel like talking to you right now. That is an answer.
Listen, if I told you, you wouldn't probably want to hear it.
Yeah, so sometimes
if he didn't answer, I guess to believe that he doesn't trust you. Or if he does, it's a very limited trust or very,
So if you listen to one of our, was it the first one? We did the 4-question assessment. And those 4 questions, we really had to dig deep and honestly say,
We
What
love that
do
assessment.
you need me to do more of?
Mm-hmm.
What do you need me to do less of? What am I doing that you need me to stop doing?
Mm-hmm.
What am I not doing that I need to start doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's in our book, The LoveByrds Story.
Yep.
It's the 4 questions assessment that you should do monthly. So if you're having a trust issue, that's something that come up. I need you to blank.
Yes.
Let me know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Or I need you to make me
Mm-hmm.
feel secure so that that I feel like I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need you to compliment me more. You know, whatever the issue is, you trust is a big word, but there's some root things under it that you can get into when you're doing those assessments. What do you need me to do more of, less of, start doing, or stop doing? Because you want to get to that trust.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to have those conversations. Not out here, trust is a big old word, but what are the things that I could do to make you trust me more?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's where
we could try to understand each other's perspective and opinion. That would probably, you know, shut some of the stuff down, some of the conflict down. If you take on the other's perspective of how they could possibly be thinking in every way, then you may come to a solution and resolution in your own self with that.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. The LoveByrds Story, and Birds is BYRD. The LoveByrds Story: How the Class Clown and the Class President Developed an Extraordinary Love. It's definitely on Amazon. You can get it there.
It's on Kindle also. And you can go to love-birds.com and
you can
we send them out personally
from our
website.
Yeah. So those
love-birds.com.
Yeah, love-birds.com. Yeah. I will, sis, ASAP. Okay, very good. So that 4-question assessment, we did that every month, and it helped us to get from here a little bit closer every month. Okay, I mean, even little things. Okay, I need you to hug me more. You know, I could use a few more kisses a day. I need you to check on me. I like to hear from you in the middle of the day. I like for you to tell me that I'm doing a good job. That helps me. And then also use I statements. Instead of saying you don't, I need, I feel, because your feelings are your feelings. And what you need. I need to feel secure. I need to know that I'm the one that you choose and you desire. Whatever it is. I tell him all the time, I choose you.
Right.
You know, and if I had to choose today, I still would choose you. You line 100 of them up, Billy Bird, you are my choice. So whatever it needs to build that trust, to build that security, to bring you guys closer, do those 4-question assessments in the book and find out what tangible things can I do to make you feel more secure.
Yes.
Can someone marry the person of their dreams? Baby, can someone marry the person of their dreams?
Yes, if you dream big or you dream that person up. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I tell you what, though.
You gotta find that person. Is that person out there?
Okay, so Amy, on page 87, on page 87 of the book, I did a full list of what I needed to be secure in a relationship. And, you know, physically, the attitude they need to have, spiritually, socially, mentally, emotionally, sexually, every single way. So my husband was nowhere around when I wrote these. In fact, I was in a relationship where I was getting none of these, which is probably why I wrote these. But my friends say that I created him because when they read those needs, he fits them perfectly. So the question of a person of your dreams, I would say write your dreams into tangible things that you need to feel secure. That's the dream. Carve that out. It's on page 87 of the book, but carve that out. That is the dream. And once you know what you want, then you begin to look for those things. I shared before that sometimes you just fall into a relationship and you try to make it work. Nobody does anything major. So next thing you know, it's been 7, 8 years, 10 years. But that person may not have anything that was on your dream list. So I think you can understand what you would dream about and what you would love to have in that relationship. You can write that down and you can look for those things because your needs are your needs and they don't what? Go away.
Amy, consistency is my favorite word.
Yes, it is.
Because that's love in action. That's, you know, if you're committing to something, that consistency is what really is the driving force. You doing those things over and over, you making a committed effort and concerted effort to achieve a goal. It takes consistency. It takes work. It takes, doing it over and over again to make that person feel secure in knowing that they have that implemented in the relationship. So consistency is my favorite word.
You have been consistent.
I get that
from the
beginning. Consistently. Yes.
I mean, things are popping up from 5-7 years ago. Oh, you brought me breakfast in bed. You brought me breakfast in bed this week. I mean, he's still consistent, and I like that about you.
Even things like bigger than that, just like consistent about reading up on relationship and being intent on searching out the tools and the resources that'll get me to keep me on that point. Touching base with her.
Just consistent in a lot of
during
things.
our morning and evening debriefs and
I remember saying early on, like, listen, honey.
Debriefs,
I remember saying, hey, listen, I've never been spoiled and I can get spoiled really quickly. So don't do these things. And then later on, they kind of fall to the wayside and you stop doing those things. Because some of these things feel really good.
Have I stopped doing them?
You have not. You made a promise that you would pulse on our relationship.
That was my promise.
You would keep a pulse on it. You would not let that meter drop too far down. No. You would make it your business. Your pride was the word we used. Your priority to keep a pulse on our relationship, and you've done that. Consistency is key.
Absolutely.
So yeah, looking at the
you can marry
because Billy is her page 82. Yes, husband.
Vision board is a good thing.
Page
Vision board is a good thing. Yes. We're talking about conflict resolution. We're on a whole bunch of
so vision board. Vision board is good, but I think we didn't so much do a vision board, but Billy had a vision of what. Again, it's what do you need to be fulfilled in that relationship? What does that look like? He had a vision of that. And then it's the prioritizing us. Like, guys, nothing is more important than us staying tight. No person, no family member, no job, no nothing is more important than us staying tight. So, and us keeping the peace between ourselves and keeping God in the middle. So sometimes it's more of a mission and what does that look like? How does that play out than a vision board? And you can use your vision board to do that, to help to explain all that.
Very good choice.
I missed one. How important is it for couples to do something?
Have a mental, yes, that's very much so. A lot of this stuff is in my head, it comes out, but a lot of the stuff is in my head because I just kind of recondition my mind. And I always say this, that it starts with a conscious decision to make a change with yourself. And most of my transformation, all of my transformation came with a conscious decision in my head to make a change. I want
to address what Charles said. What you put in the universe comes back to you, bad or good. Okay. I believe that, and I want to believe that. But it's not always true. And I say that because I was in a relationship to where I married at 19 years old. I've been married my whole life. I was married my whole life. But, the advice was give what you want to, what you expect to get back and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I'm a server. But if you hook up with somebody who's a taker, you can do all the serving in the world. A taker is going to be a taker. They're not going to turn into a server. In fact, they will feel entitled. That's right. That's what you should be doing. That's how I should be treated. And so for the most part, it's right. You're putting out that positive vibes. But you got to look at that person and be honest. Like, what are they looking to get out of this relationship? What are they looking to give and not give?
I think he's speaking of the overall.
It was a taker. It was a taker. At
some point, if you speak
but
you will achieve.
Let me finish it.
Okay.
But look what I have now. From what I've been putting out. That's what I think he was speaking to. Yes. So just be mindful of some individuals who are. I would just say just takers. And we talked about, I think we said in one of our previous readings, love gives.
Yes.
Love gives. God so loved the world that he gave. So overall. Yeah. But see, look what the universe is giving back to me now. I got double for my trouble. So yes, I want to say, yes, I believe it, but be cautious of some people who, like, you can do all that you're supposed to do and they still might do you wrong or have the right mindset. But I believe even in that, that I'm receiving double for what I put up with, what I chose to stick with for the sake of my children.
Right.
But I believe I'm getting double for my trouble now.
We wanted to go into the win-win model that we were kind of.
Yeah.
Chuck, is it a possibility for you to bring up that model, Chuck, that we
wait,
we kind of.
What time is? Do we want to take our break and come back to that? Yeah. Listen, we have something that we're dying to share with you.
Yes.
About communication. Communication is key and it's so huge. We have some bird seeds that we want to share with you that will probably really drive home this point about communication. So with that being said, we're going to pause for a commercial break. When we come back, stay with us so you can get this bird seed about communication.
Absolutely.
And about how to deal with conflicts in a healthy way with healthy solutions.
Give it to us, Chuck. And we're back.
Hey.
Yes. Hold tight. I want to make sure you guys see this because my wife makes it so festive around here during these times. She is so passionate about nesting and making our home
Christmas,
a warm and welcoming environment during these holiday seasons. And we got, you all see this back here? Move to the side, baby. We have a Christmas tree forest. Now we've had to move some of the trees, but I've got an actual forest back here of Christmas trees. It's 6 trees, but it's a whole
various
Christmas tree forest.
Sizes.
Yes, it's so cute, so lovely. Yes,
Thank you. I love
an icy blue Christmas at the LoveByrds.
I change my theme every year.
Yes.
And my birthday is December 21st.
Yes.
So baby.
Yes.
I'm a Christmas baby. So yeah. So we want to talk about communication. Somebody said communication is key. And I bet you we've gotten that every single week that communication is key.
Yes. You don't get through conflict unless you communicate.
But you know how somebody once said, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Yes.
And I can say the same thing about communication. Just because you're communicating doesn't mean that it's perfect and it's getting the job done. It's communicating in a healthy way, in an effective way that gets the job done.
Yes.
So I want to start with a definition that I use for mature communication. And does Chuck have our? Chuck has our.
I don't know if he can bring it up, but
all right.
It's the win-win model.
Okay. Does he have?
It's the win-lose, lose-win, win-win.
Yeah.
Lose-lose.
Does he have it or no? You don't know?
I know I sent it to him, but he may not be able to bring it up.
Okay. So there's a definition that I use for healthy communication. It's called it's for maturity. What does mature communication look like? And so I think my definition of mature communication is when you can effectively balance courage with consideration. When you can balance courage with consideration. Courage to make your point, courage to be heard, courage to understand that, hey, how I see it is just as important as how you see it. Let's talk about it. When you can balance that courage with consideration and love for the other person, when you can balance that, to me, that's mature communication. Yes. And so we unpack that a little bit. If I have a whole lot of courage, right? But not much consideration, what would that look like?
So
in communications,
that you're trying to be overpowering, that you're trying to your way is the only way.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
My way or the highway.
Exactly.
I don't even really hear your way. I just want to win. And so me winning means you have to lose.
to
And so
lose.
when we have these arguments, I'm trying to win this argument. I'm not really considering the whole relationship. I'm trying to win my way. I want my way. So that's another way of kind of being abusive, trying to or somebody yelling, screaming, wear them down, because I'm coming into this communication with a high degree of courage, but I'm not really considering the other person. I may not even want to consider you. I just want to win. I want you to see it my way. I want my way. I want to win. It's very immature when it's all courage and a little consideration. So that's a win-lose type of relationship or win-lose type of communication. So if you have all this courage and you always winning and your mate is losing, at the end of the day, it's a loss. It's a loss. So, and why is it a loss though?
Because we're not winning. The relationship is not winning.
Right.
We're not. Right. We haven't come to a resolution. I haven't been heard. We haven't, we didn't resolve what the issue was.
Somebody just came in, they wanted their way.
Yeah, they wanted their way.
And they want to get their way, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah, we didn't come to a conclusion.
So if you're always winning the argument and the other person's always losing the argument, that's a win-lose type of arrangement. At the end of the day, it's a loss, because how much loss is that person going to take? You know what I mean? They're losing. And then you don't really care enough or consider the person enough to even care that they're losing. So the flip side of that, right?
Is if I come into the conflict and I say, okay, that's fine. Whatever you say.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
I don't care.
I don't
want to
care.
start an argument.
I don't want to go through this. Have your way.
Just do whatever you want.
So I choose to lose so that the other person wins. And
that's the dynamic.
That's the dynamic, yeah. So
it's a lose.
It's another lose, because if I'm giving up my value or I'm giving up my perspective just so that this
just walk all over me. Everybody does.
Once again, and especially if it's a need and it's not being met, it doesn't go away.
Right.
So we're looking at another.
So that's a lose-win situation, where I always lose just so you can win. Just so stop the argument.
Just to stop the argument. Right.
And then you have the lose-lose to where,
both of us walk away mad. Both of us go to bed angry.
Back to back.
Back to back. We're not talking tomorrow. There it is. Yeah. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no negotiate. We didn't negotiate anything. We just left it right there on the table. So we wake up in the morning, the dishes ain't done, the food is cold.
Whatever.
It's like whatever. So.
Whatever.
And
it's a lose-lose situation.
Lose-lose. Once again, we have no resolution.
Right.
We have no solution. We didn't resolve our conflict. We didn't.
Right.
We didn't do. In that sense, we didn't
never
do
solved
anything.
it. We just walked away. We just let it dissolve. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
No compromise. No, you know what? It's just nobody's winning in this whole situation.
Nobody's winning nothing. Yes. So, and then there's what we love. The win-win.
Yes, seeking the win.
The win.
Seek, our bird seed is going to be seek the win-win. Yes. That's going to be our bird seed for this week. When you seek a win-win, I want to win. I want to think about a transaction. Say you're going to go buy something or use someone's service, right? You want a good price. But do you want to push that person down to where they're not making any money? They're losing in the deal. It's not fair. And then you just get over on somebody and you run away like you start the car. You just rob somebody.
Or you want a good product also. You know.
And you want to go. So somewhere in there's a sweet spot to where everybody wins and everybody gets what they need. So it's a fair price. It's a good deal.
It's a good product.
Right. So sometimes in there, it may be a little bit of compromise, but your compromise is because you're considering the other person. I know what I need and what I want, but I'm also considering you. And I don't want you to take a loss in this, or, you know what I mean? Or last time, you help me to do whatever, so I'm going to consider you this time. I can't, I don't want to win all the time. Right. It has to be a win-win. So in these conflicts, where is the win-win?
Where's the sweet spot?
Change your mind to seek win-win. Some people go into arguments and conflicts and they just want to win. Now, I'm not even considering the other person to whether they're winning or losing. I just want to win. That's a single-minded type of attitude, to where it's selfish.
Very selfish.
Yeah, it's selfish. It's a single-minded type of situation. And then sometimes you got to be able to know when to call a no deal. This isn't good for you. This isn't good for me. We can't negotiate a sweet spot in there. Sometimes you're just gonna have to. We just have to agree to disagree on this one. This one's just a no deal. We're not moving forward.
Take it off the table.
Don't feel good on about this
readdress
right
it
now.
once we get a clear understanding of what we really want in it.
Gain more information.
Gain more information. What we really
how much of a priority is this?
So you can just table certain conflicts just so that they don't build up to be. This could be not the time for us to talk about it. This is not the time to address it because we're both not level-headed in this moment.
So
whatever factor that is.
Lakia said, "I'd rather lose an argument just to have peace of mind." Okay, let me tell you.
Creating
and you listen. No, on a scale of 1 to 10, I might lose an argument to have peace of mind. If it's a 1 or a 2, it's nothing really. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, you want steak, I want fish. Okay, whatever. We'll have steak. I could do that. So I mean, if it's a 1, 2, or 3, yes. But on the major things that are important, you should be heard, and you should be valued, and you should talk that through. You can't just always lose. You know, in the chart, if you're always losing so that the other one could win, just for the sake of you're losing over and over and over again, and that's not healthy. It's not a healthy relationship. That's not healthy communication. If someone loves you, they want to understand how, you know.
And I understand if it jeopardizes the peace in your relationship, that's another factor. So, because in all of this, we're all seeking peace, joy, and happiness. That's the model that we're all trying to achieve in this all. To be happy with our significant other or partner, to be happy with our lives, to be and just to live a joyful life. So sometimes I can understand that, but if it compromises your morals, and if it's on the regular, if it compromises your principles, then
you're not
that
heard,
may not be healthy.
You're not considered.
That may not be healthy. I would encourage you to dig a little deeper.
We talked about control, power, money, and sex. Part of that power part is trying to control you. If you feel like you're walking around on eggshells, like I don't want to upset this. That's not healthy.
That's not really.
That's
healthy.
Not healthy.
No.
Or if somebody can just wear you down until you finally say, okay, whatever. That's manipulation.
Absolutely.
That's a manipulation.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to keep at you until I change your mind.
Abuse, actually, for real. Yes. So,
love cares, guys.
Yes, it does.
And considers.
It considers.
Yeah.
It considers.
Yeah. And if you don't have that, you've got toxic, not healthy at all.
Being willing to see some of your partner's perspective and respect their opinion. That's love.
Courage, balance with consideration. That's how you seek a win-win.
Seek the win-win.
Courage. I have the courage to say my piece. I have enough consideration and value for you to try to understand you. Courage, balance with consideration. That's mature, healthy way to resolve conflict and have communications. Both are adults in here. So if you're talking, one's talking like the adult to the other speaking to them like they're a child, that's unhealthy. It's courage, balance with consideration.
Can I ask one question? How can we tell them, so say they want to, they're in some conflict, but the other partner doesn't want to address it, not willing to give into even communicating about it. How do you overcome that obstacle?
That's challenging because it takes two people to work at anything. But
very good.
I would say use your I statements. I feel like I'm not heard. I feel like I'm not important. I feel like I'm not being considered. I feel you just want to win and you're not listening to me.
You have to be direct.
So using those using I statements are better than accusing someone, because what you feel is what you feel and what you think is what you think. And it comes off better than saying, you don't listen, you always listen, you always, first of all, nobody always or never does anything.
Exactly.
So stop using always and never, because nobody always or never is anything. Now, some people can do things a whole lot, like have a tendency to, but don't use always or never. But I statements, I feel like I can't trust you. I feel like I'm not heard. I feel like I feel like I'm taken advantage of. I feel like I get walked all over because you want to win and you really don't care what I think. So using those I statements, I would do that. Yes. I feel like I'm the only one working in this relationship, and I feel like you're not putting forth any effort. I feel like you're okay with where it is right now. I feel, I feel. And so you should have those. You should have the courage to have to use those I statements. Okay.
Yeah. What if you don't feel comfortable or communicating with your?
You don't feel comfortable communicating?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you mean by don't feel comfortable?
So,
like you need a third party? Maybe you need a mediator.
That's what I was looking for. There you go.
Because
that's what I was looking for.
I'm concerned when someone says they don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I know,
you probably need a third party.
Encourage them to seek some professional help. Seek some help. Yes, don't.
It's always good to have an objective person to
sometimes
listen.
Third parties can really help you out in seeking what you need. Yeah, I just wanted to address that to make sure that we covered that also.
Y'all say we the hard mark. Y'all give us the feels. William said, in a time when unfortunately drug dealers, killers, and celebrities are heralded as the heroes, the lovebirds are a breath of fresh air.
Oh man, my man.
Y'all are my heroes. I love being a student of your tutelage.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I appreciate that. Man.
Y'all do it.
I'm learning along the way too, Hugh, man. So we can do this together. Yeah. I promise you.
Folks, Frenchie said, folks that manipulate you are just plain liars. They don't have the heart to be real about themselves. I had a big thing on that. That's a key. That's one of the things you want to look for. If somebody's always lying to you, or you don't know where their whereabouts are, and they're keeping those kind of things from you, boy, red flags. Those are definite red flags. Yeah, yes, those are red flags.
Absolutely.
So, guys,
I think this was a good one, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Good engagement.
Questions, great
Press
engagement.
us. Yes. Challenge us a little bit.
Absolutely.
So courage balanced with consideration is how you have mature communications and resolve conflicts. Seek the win-win. Don't always seek to win. Seek the win-win. And again, if on a scale of 1 to 10, no conflict about anything that's less than a 5. No arguing. No raising your voice about anything that's less than a 5.
Try it.
If it should be something major. Sometimes we don't even realize what we.
And even if it's something major, try to find that courage, consideration, balance.
Right. And study your mate.
Yeah.
Study your mate. Sometimes it's not even the thing that they're arguing about. You guys study.
Yes, it may not even be them.
Guys, sometimes you might need to just snatch her up and give her a hug.
Yeah, because she may not. That may not even be what the argument is all about. It may just be because she's not receiving something or he's not receiving something. So
make a deposit.
Yeah, make a deposit. Deposits, boy, they like conflict repellents.
Make a deposit.
Make deposits. The deposits will deflect some conflict. Trust me.
Yeah.
Make that institution union. The union institution. Make some deposits.
Anything before we wrap up?
Anything? Yes.
Questions?
Yes. Thank you very much,
Mr.
Green. Thank you guys, man. We really love doing this, man.
We
trying to bring our perspective to it, man.
Yeah.
The models, and then we try to bring our perspective to it.
All right. Healthy relationships, guys. That's what
Seek
it's all
the win-win.
About. Seek the win-win this week. Try it this week.
Try it.
That's your bird seed. Chew on that this week. Nibble on that. Seek the win-win in your conversations and in your relationship this week. Okay?
Thank you, French. Appreciate you too. Thank you, George. Izzy, love you, cousin. Thank y'all all for joining us. Chuck, great job on the other side.
Thanksgiving.
Feel Good Talk family. We love you guys. Happy holidays.
We're the Lovebirds.
No, eat all the turkey you want. It's a cheap week.
It's the dressing, though. Ooh, and the gravy and the mashed potatoes.
Yes, eat all that too. Thank you guys.
Enjoy
we love
your
you. We're the
families.
LoveByrds.
Hug them extra tight.
Yes,
this
we're the
week,
LoveByrds.
guys.
We love love, and we love people.
We love people and we love love.
Peace.
Have a wonderful week.
Mhm.